Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and knights around the realm. Today, the Exclusive Nights podcast is rocking a little bit different of a lemon pepper stepper because it's just us, Oos. Yeah, this week it's just yours truly, Mr. Exclusive himself, and the Prince for this week's review of not only Monday Night Raw, but NXT and SmackDown. And we got some stuff to talk about. So without further ado, let's jump right in to that. What was it? 2.5
Two
hours?
and a half hours, baby.
A fire, that 2.5 hours of heat, that 2.5 hours that just kept kind of being the same. Monday Night Raw. Stranger Things. All right, look. So Monday Night Raw was billed as being E, what's up? I'm sorry you couldn't be here today. I understand. Work calls. Gotta pay the bills, right?
Gotta pay the bills.
But Monday Night Raw billed as this, gonna be this like revolutionary television, something, never seen 17, Stranger Things to kind of build. And I'm just gonna be honest, straight up. I didn't care for Monday Night Raw. I didn't think it went to the levels that they kind of hyped it up to be. And I'm like, man, this is 2026, and we're still getting those 2025 vibes of like building up a show, really hyping up a show, and then kind of under delivering, just a usual kind of serving of a show that you would normally get. And that's kind of how I felt about Stranger Things. But hey, no fears, everybody. WWE made up for it later on in the week.
They did.
But for Monday Night Raw, Stranger Things did happen. All right. Things that were you could consider different, but it wasn't shocking. It wasn't surprising. We opened it up and we started off the new year with a tag team match between the Kabuki Warriors, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. And of course, in this match, it was to be expected that Rhea and Io would go over. So this was not a huge surprise for me. Now, maybe that's why it took some things away from the matches, because I was like, okay, this is definitely the time where Rhea and Io, get ready to go over on the Kabuki Warriors. They're getting ready to start trying to set things up to go along, to start getting storylines in place to go along into WrestleMania. And so it was just going to make sense to me. The match itself, great match. Don't want to take anything from that. I thought that the ladies did a great job opening the show. But I think titles changing hands was kind of giving that vibe of like, okay, this might be a Stranger Things. What's going to happen later on with CM Punk and Braun Breaker? But yeah, in this case, the ladies, they win the tag team championships, and I'm happy for them because I'm like, okay, I understand this is leading into bigger things. And so I wasn't surprised by it, but I just thought this was a decent way to start the show off, and it's the next title change that kind of it's like I don't understand this. But Mr. Exclusive, what did you think about Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and the new tag team women's champion?
Well, my thing about all this is, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to preach it until they figure it out. That the tag team title reigns are just, or the title reigns in general on WWE right now is all over the place. And I guess you can even throw AEW in there because we've seen a couple switches there that were like, okay, like Hangman's happening so fast. But just to stick with WWE, it's frustrating because even though right now I feel like the women's tag team division is the hottest division that they have going on right now on the main roster for sure. And like it feels like they've worked so hard to build up that division and give us a couple of different tag teams. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm cool with it. We all knew that it was going to lead to this. And, we knew that it was going to be Rhea and Io winning the titles at some point. Even though I still think this is a larger picture thing, like you said, where they give them the titles down, but I feel like it's like with Charlotte and then Alexa, now, even though they're still kind of cool, I feel like it's going to be eventually used to build a storyline between them on a solo front. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm here for the ride to see what it's all about. We all know that Rhea has never beat Io, and they've talked about it. And I think that that's what it's going to lead up to at some point. I don't know if it's a Mania match. I don't know if it's SummerSlam. I don't know where they lend that to. But look, them being champions, I'm cool with. I've never been, two great wrestlers, but this one feels like Stone Cold and The Undertaker being champions together. Like we knew it happened. They were tag team champions at one point, but that's what this tag team feels like. And yes, they have their little cute name, and Rio and all that. Oh, that's fancy. But it's, to me, I would rather the Kabuki Warriors still be champions because they felt like a really good tag team. They are multiple time champions, and when they're the champions, I believe it, like fully believe them being champions. So, shout out to them. Love Rhea, love EO, but I think it's more of a larger picture thing for them.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I don't think you could have gone wrong either way. If the Kabuki Warriors kept it, it would have been like, okay, that's fine. You still got good stories. They're still building up the tag team titles. It changed hands to Rhea and Io, like, okay, that's fine. It still you can still build on it, and the tag team titles still feel important. And so, like I said, it just wasn't a surprising thing for me. So, that's what we got. That's how we kicked off the new year, the first Raw of the new year, which was fine. And then we move into the next segment, which is the build. We know this is AJ Styles' last year. It's his retirement year. And we got, the guy that sends people into retirement himself, Gunther, coming out to the ring, trying to, be the ring general, cut his promo. And of course, he's interrupted by AJ Styles. And before we get to that, because they kind of been, for the last couple of weeks, before in this, like specifically this week, before the ring general gets out to the ring, he's back there with the Raw general manager, and
AP.
Yeah, there you go. And he's like, hey, look, you've been out disrespecting John Cena, this, that, and the other. Go out here, have a little respect, whatever. Now we know he's talking to the ring general.
And there's no respect in this man.
There's no respect in it. Yeah, exactly. and I will give Gunther some credit. He tried to keep from saying that he made John Cena tap out like a little, what. But but he just couldn't help himself. And so, AJ Styles comes out. He gets in the ring. They go face to face. And AJ, he slaps Gunther in the face. Now, what I was surprised about here is the fact that there was no retaliation from Gunther. But this is a long game, right? So it's a mind game. And so I do like this. I do like the build for what we will get. I don't know if it's too early. I don't know exactly when AJ Styles is going to have his last. I don't know if he's going a full year or if he's just going to the end of his contract that could expire mid-year. I don't know. Yeah. But we know that they're building towards this type of match. Good little segment here. I love to see that they're building on this story between these two, because we know what this means for AJ. So I don't really have a lot of issues with this segment. What did you think about it yourself, Mr. Xclusive?
I mean, it's definitely a good start. I mean, they want to make Gunther this ultimate heel. They're looking for their big bad heel that people just dislike, and he's got the qualities to be that guy. Sending Cena off the way he did, drew major heat. You beat up on R-Truth week before last or last week, and it seems like he's going after people that are close to Cena, and it's like he's using it to kind of they're using that to kind of keep rubbing, I guess Gunther rubbing people in the wrong way. So I think this could be a really good match. I know it can be a really good match because whatever AJ Styles is in, he doesn't disappoint. Gunther obviously is the ring general, and he's going to do what he's going to do. So I kind of like the build for this match, but that's what it kind of feels like. It's like he's going and picking off people that was in this, John Cena, farewell tour, at least at the moment. And so, but they've got to make him credible as the most dangerous heel, and they got to keep doing it, keep trashing John Cena where you can. But I need him, I've always feel like if you want to be the best type of heel, you just got to be nasty. The sneak attacks, you got to do it all. You got to be hated. you got to be hated. So I still think it's in the early stages, but I'm waiting to see what they do with it.
Yeah. And I think Gunther is well on his way to being hated right now. They're not letting this man speak at all. He eventually may get to Drew McIntyre levels of hate, but and healers work. But right now, I think Gunther's doing a good thing. I think this is a good bit for him, and I think like this match right here will cook just because of the two styles that will be clashing, pun intended. And so yeah, that segment there, it was fine. But this next one is where things kind of went downhill for me. All right. We got to just get right into it. Maxine Dupree defending the Intercontinental Championship against the man, Becky Lynch, which love these two ladies together when they're fighting, when they're wrestling. I love the matches between these two. So, no issues there with them actually having this match. What got me was the finish. Now, I don't know if this is one of those things again where you're trying to do some shocking things to, kind of help the show live up to what it was billed as the Stranger Things episode. But here again, the Intercontinental Championship switching hands. We just got to Maxine Dupree. Dupree has been doing decent work since she got the title. And I was interested in watching her growth as the Intercontinental Women's Champion. And already it's done. The reign is over. Becky Lynch is now the Intercontinental Women's Champion again. I did not like this. I did not agree with it. I thought this could have been done better. It could have had a bigger payoff. Maybe you lead into something at the Royal Rumble or later on in the year before WrestleMania or something like that, where you give Maxine Dupree the opportunity to run a little bit with this championship, and it just didn't happen. The match itself was fine. The finish, interesting with the kind of
slick camera angle.
It was like, slick camera angle. Becky Lynch rolls her backwards because she has Becky Lynch in the ankle lock, but Becky Lynch kind of rolls over, flips backwards, but kind of braces herself with the ring rope, to get the pin for the 1, 2, 3. It's that stuff. It's fine, but the way that the outcome was, I just did not like it. I did not care for it, and I just thought, this is what we're talking about, WWE. You guys are doing this to start the year off already, where we're having title changes. I don't know, for the sake of title changes or for that social media pop of just being able to say, look what happened. And it's like that 5 seconds of fame that it seems like they're constantly chasing, which is unnecessary for WWE. But, sometimes you just got to hope that they have a bigger plan as to why this is happening, and there's going to be a bigger payoff. But right now, I just can't see it with this right here, with the title changing hands back to Becky Lynch. We've seen her with the title now for a period of time. She's had a great run. She's done well with it. And it was just great to see a fresh face. But what were your thoughts, Mr. Xclusive?
No, this is where I go back. And like I said, I'm just going to tell y'all now, I know it's January, but all year long, you're going to hear me talk about it until they fix it. Title reigns, title reigns, title reigns, title reigns, title reigns, title reigns. They don't know how to build them, and it's bad. So a couple things with this. I love the fact Maxine won the title a couple weeks ago. I thought, okay, this is a nice little setup for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like this move. It kind of puts her on a pedestal. It kind of gives her an opportunity to be, it gives her an opportunity to be a main event player, or at least a mid main event player, and help build up that division. I thought that her ring work was getting better. I thought that her promo work was getting better, rehearsed or whatever way you want to say it. I still think it was getting better. And I was starting to be very interested in what she was going to do as Intercontinental Champion. This is where my problem kicks in. A lot of people say that the main reason why she lost the title, because, she's got a honeymoon coming up. She just got married. And so she's going to take some much needed time off, which I agree. I mean, if that's happening, by all means, I shout out to WWE for giving her the opportunity to spend time with her husband and give a chance to enjoy that part of, her life, or the major milestone. My problem is you could have waited.
Mm-hmm.
You did not have to give her the title to have her lose the title in a couple of weeks. Becky Lynch should have just still been champion.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to take the belt off of her, to have Maxine have it for a month, have Becky be angry for a month, and then take the title right back from her. You knew she was getting married. You could have waited. You could have waited and then gave her, the title. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at Elimination Chamber or at Mania. Maybe you build Maxine and Becky heading to Mania, you know? But it seems like now, and the word that I hear is they want Becky and AJ for Mania, which I'm here for it.
Right.
But AJ Lee is not out there every week. You know, she's only been there a couple times, and I love her. I'm not dissing her, but she has not been out there every week. So there's so much of it that I'm continuing to hate that they don't put any love, any appreciation to title reigns, because it's what you said, and we talked about a couple weeks ago. They want the social media pop. They want because they said that's the main reason why Chelsea Green lost the belt. They just wanted somebody. They just we got to change hand. Who loses the belt? What? You know, and that happened right after Chelsea went on Chris Van Vliet and was saying like, "Oh, I don't mind losing." She said, "I got one of the worst records in the in WWE in the last couple of years, but they keep bringing me on TV, and I get paid because I'm on TV. So she doesn't mind not being champion. She doesn't have to be champion. I get that, but she deserves to be champion because she's so good at what she does. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's becoming a thing where I'm like, come on, guys, we got to stop doing this. And I know it's a new age of wrestling, and maybe that's just what they want. They look, hey, social media is you got to give me what I got, and maybe that's the way they're gonna go. I'm afraid for other people. We'll talk about that later in the show. And so that's my concern. Like it takes the fun out of wrestling for me as a longtime wrestling fan. Maybe these new generation wrestling fans love it because what's going to happen this week? I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'm a storytelling wrestling fan. Tell me some motherfucking stories. Stop starting stories. I'm like, all right, I'm interested, and then you're like, no. What did Dave Chappelle say in that show? Gotcha, bitch. That's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. So
I'm with you. And like again, I know AJ Lee and Becky Lynch WrestleMania match will cook for the Intercontinental Championship. Just felt like we could have gotten through Money in the Bank. What's the next two? It's Royal Rumble with Survivor.
I think they got a Saturday night main event.
But we got
there, and you got Elimination Chamber. So
Elimination Chamber, and so you got all of just a number of these shows that are coming up that would have given her another 30, 60 days, reign, as a champion. Even 90, because WrestleMania is until end of
mid-April.
And I know they gotta start to advertise and things of that nature. I just feel like the last couple of weeks, seeing Maxine Dupree come out, cut her promos, I was starting to really like vibe with her. And like, this lady's got something. She's good on the mic. She's really good on the mic. And with these extra opportunities to be in front of everybody and wrestling and wrestling, we will, she'll get more accustomed, to putting on actual wrestling matches and shows. So this could be really good. And she's a fresh face. So I just thought WWE was going down the right path with this, only to have the rug yanked from under our feet. But it's
insane because
it is.
She's a good, started from the bottom. Now you're here story. You know what I'm saying? Like when we first saw him, like think about it. We were like, man, what is this girl doing in the ring? She does not have it, or like she was just kind of like and I'm not trying to be nasty, but she was like a side piece. She was a manager. She was that type of thing in there. That's all we really saw her as. Then she starts to get better in the ring. She starts to develop, and we're like, now we're invested in Maxine Dupree. So now they could be looking at her. Oh, now that they're invested, let's see if she fight to get the title back. But if you're putting AJ Lee in the mix, which I feel like that's what's going to end up happening here, that takes her right out of the mix for what, another 5-6 months? Man, man, shoot.
and just one last thing on this, just like I said, I don't want to continue to beat a dead horse, but to me, what I like about stuff like having a Maxine Dupree is the same thing about why my girl from Judgment Day,
Roxanne?
No.
Raquel?
No. Little
Liv is one of them.
Liv Morgan, thank you.
It's one of them.
I'm telling you, I'm absolutely atrocious with names, so y'all have to forgive me. Like trying to remember names, all the different names.
It's too many.
But Liv Morgan, I feel like for the longest time watching her, she was a nobody. Like not what I mean relative to WWE superstars with women. Like she would get in the ring, she would have her match. A lot of times she would lose. You just never knew really what Liv Morgan was and what was inside of Liv Morgan until she made her way into the main title like picture, until she started winning until she won the women's championship. And you just something about that just changed, just seeing her more often, seeing her interact, seeing her, it's like she grew and right in front of our eyes. And now she's this beloved, WWE superstar. And, and that's why she was just a fresh face compared to having at the time, your Sasha Banks, your Charlotte Flairs, your Baileys, your Becky Lynches. She was a fresh face in that mix. Alexa Bliss was in there as well because she was carrying the title multiple times. So when they finally pushed Liv Morgan, she really grew and blossomed in front of our eyes. And now I love Liv Morgan. I love her character, how she interacts. I love how she plays with the audience and just, she's amazing. And so it's one of those things where that's what I was hoping for, a Maxine Dupree of just, you finally give her an opportunity. We get to see her a little bit more. We get to learn about her a little more. She's in our homes a little bit more, when we're watching her on television. And so you just start to realize, man, this girl is really talented, and is a great thing for that division. But that's kind of my thing. But I don't want to really stomp all over WWE because, like I said, they did do some things and got some things right this week. But it was just the fact that Stranger Things Raw was billed to be like a lot of crazy stuff is going to take place tonight.
No Stranger Things characters. Finn posted something. I thought we might be getting the demon back tonight. He had me hyped. Nothing.
Finn, I thought we was going to see something like that with Finn. I thought we might have got the rumors with Chris Jericho.
They lied to us.
Yeah. But no, it's just not how it worked. But to move on, we got the Usos. They hopped out. They came out there. They cut a promo. It's good to see the Usos back together. Out here, reopening the Uso Penitentiary. I think we're going back to it. But these two together, of course, it's money. I like it. They come out, they do their thing. So we got a promo for them. But this one here was interesting because La Primera comes out to the ring and she's wearing a boot. And I'm thinking, now, is this the Jacob Fatu magic boot? Or is this just a regular boot, regular degular boot that, you can't really get much work in. You're literally, you literally need to be taking it easy. But it was also in my head of well, when did this happen? When did she get injured? She was, I didn't hear anything about this or whatever. And Raquel Rodriguez, oh my gosh, did it open up the opportunity for her? Oh my gosh, the savagery that took place in the middle of that ring with that boot and that ankle for La Primera. Now, La Primera comes out, she's cutting a promo and she's talking about, her being the women's champion, about, this injury, she's in a boot, whatever. And so, I'm still at a loss. I'm okay, is she about to vacate the title? What's about to happen here? Is she dropping the belt? I don't want to see this. No, not La Primera. And then Raquel Rodriguez comes out and proceeds to give La Primera the beatdown of a lifetime on that ankle. I mean, she went to work on that ankle. They're escorting La Primera to the back. And Raquel Rodriguez tracks her down back there, steps on the boot and pulls her neck back. And it's just in her face, giving her the business. Now, what I loved about this segment here is we've seen Raquel Rodriguez be dominant through NXT, and we've seen her dominate for a little bit in WWE. She got ill, and then she's kind of been relegated to back to the bench, kind of sort of. We know that this lady is talented and she has ability. But I like what they're doing with this story and the dynamic that they're bringing out between these two ladies here, and I think this energy and the energy between them, and has the ability to cook. Now, what I don't know how I feel about this is I'm getting rumor that this is just a act. This is her ankle or foot is not really injured. This is part of some story that they're building. My problem with that is, but why do this? Why put this lady in, why bring up this faux injury and put this lady in a boot if this is not a real thing? He out here, Steph got a magic boot. It ain't Jacob Fatu magic. That she got no offense in. Jacob Fatu put that boot to work on the tribal chief. I ain't never seen a boot do what that boot did.
The devil kiss boot ain't got the same dream going
on.
And
the history of boots, I think that boot is still above the lemon pepper stepper. It's lemon pepper stepper, magic boot, Jacob Fatu level.
Right there. And then Shoe Fala is in there somewhere.
And the Shoe Fala is in there somewhere. But no, so it's like a double-edged sword here with me, really, really quick, Mr. Xclusive. In the sense that I applaud WWE for trying to come up with stories and storylines and to kind of create something. I just don't know if I like the idea of like, so you put her in a boot, like this is what we come up with, and I know it gives Raquel the ability or the opportunity to show this real heel side, this real I don't give a you know what side, and I like that. I just feel like you could have done this maybe without, like, you don't have to put her in a boot, because to me in my mind I'm like, all right, well, she's doing this, but is Raquel, when is La Primera going to be able to go? Like, is it going to be anytime soon? Are we going to get a payoff for this anytime soon? Or are we going to be able to see him in the ring? She's in a boot. So, I the thoughts are all over the place when it comes to this, because it had a lot of good. It's just the drawback for me of like, but why put her in the boot? Because so now when she faces La Primera and she wins, it's going to be, well, because, La Primera, she's dealing with a bad ankle. Like it's going to be that, yeah, she won, but type of thing. Like, it's to me, it kind of takes away from what you're building here and what you're doing here. But it did give Raquel this opportunity to kind of shine. So what were your thoughts about it?
Well, I was a little skeptical at first, because I feel like, like I said, you said it perfectly. When she came back, she was kind of in a back, kind of, behind the scenes player. Big sexy Raquel Rodriguez, they're kind of labeling her like she was Diesel, and then Liv Morgan with Shawn Michaels. And so that's the vibe that it was kind of given when they were kind of together. I like this for her because they need a monster on Raw. They need a monster on Raw. SmackDown seems to have Nia, Lash, and then, and they got Jade. So they got a couple of monsters on there. You know what I'm saying? They need a monster. They need a person who can come out and be legitimately a nasty person. Now, what I want to see from Raquel, and I want her to continue this. Like, I want her to just have beef with everybody in the locker room and just start. Just if this is who you're gonna be, just don't do it on La Primera. I need you to go. Don't let her be the first, which is what I found out La Primera means. I looked it up. I looked it up. So, but I need her to continue to kind of do that. And I like this for her.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued to see if they do give her the title, what that reign would look like.
Yeah.
It's just the world title pictures right now on the women's side are kind of murky. And I just don't know where they're gonna, what they're gonna do with this. And that's and once again, like I said, beating a dead horse, but it goes back to title reigns. How do you work these?
Yeah.
And they make it sound like La Primera is not going to give up the title. They just said that she's going to work through it. I think she posted something about it like a couple of days ago or whatever after it happened. So let's see where it builds to. This could be something to finally give, Stephanie, a proper, person to defend the title against, because I feel like because people are saying, like, I've said it. I'm not, man of state. I feel like her reign hasn't been what it could be. They haven't put proper people in front of her. They haven't given a legit storyline to to make us want this to mean something. And I feel like this has potential. So let's see what they bring from it. I think it got potential. We'll see what they bring from it.
You know what? What you just said really just kind of changed my mind and put things into perspective about it. You know what? I'm going to say I like this. I like this more now, because it does make, when you said about giving her a proper storyline, one of the things we talked about with La Primera was like, she doesn't really have any real good like foil, any real good heel to like really put against her. Everybody just seems like, okay, this is just another match for her. We're really just waiting to see the devil's kiss. But when you put it that way, I like it, because you showed her in a vulnerable state. Raquel Rodriguez came out here and took advantage of her in this vulnerable state. And now it's going to be about what does La Primera have inside of her to,
where's the fire?
To fight back. To be the first, to be the one. and be able to kind of overcome this. And this is a story that can cook and drag for a little bit, and you're giving her that face to hate, that the fans of La Primera, that face to hate, to not like. So I'm going to change my mind on this, and I'll give WWE their flower or credit on this, in the sense that I think this could work, and I think this will be good, because we know, like, as far as like with Jade, at least in our minds, the build is going to be for her and Bianca, and we know that that's the money match for WrestleMania. But if you're going to have La Primera going into WrestleMania as the women's champion, if you're going to give her a title reign, we got to have a face and a person to really despise and dislike, and kind of want to see her overcome. Although I'm a Raquel Rodriguez fan as well, so I it's going to be tough. I'm gonna have to watch how this plays out.
She's got to get nasty. She's got to be nasty.
Yeah, they do have to build somebody in on Raw brand in the women's division, at least. Especially if you're not going to have Rhea in the picture, Io in the picture. You're not going to have Bayley, Charlotte in the picture, Alexa Bliss in the picture, no Becky in the picture. Yeah, you got to have somebody, and at this point, they really don't have anybody. So this is good for Raquel to be able to step in right here and kind of take over that vacant spot or space right there.
Agreed.
So
that's good. All the heavy hitters are in the mid-card titles, which is insane to say. Because we complained about them not being there. Now they're all there, and I'm like, but you got to leave somebody at the top, right?
yeah, you do. And it's funny because I wonder also if WWE started this just really quick, because last year I remember there was a huge pushback about Rhea Ripley constantly being in the title picture, and I remember her saying, "Well, I'm only 27 years old. I got years left ahead of me. I mean, what do you think? Do you think I'm not going to be in the title picture?" And I think WWE pivoted away from that and started trying to find ways to get her into like the mid card level or tag team level, just to kind of give her that break and that space from the fans of being in that world heavyweight or world championship scene for the women. Something else that was just strange, to literally go along with Stranger Things. Javon Evans signs his contract during a commercial break in front of the fans. So we didn't get to see it. It's just a post that was made, and for Javon Evans to be the big deal that he is for a lot of us in that is in the NXT fandom and in the wrestling world. I thought they messed this up. They could have found a way to get this on television so people could have seen this and it made it just a little bit bigger of a deal. But at the end of the day, Javon Evans is now officially on Monday Night Raw. He's congratulations to Javon and congratulations to the Big OG, for this accomplishment here. And so I'm still happy for him. I just wish we all could have shared in that.
It doesn't make sense, and I'll say this real quick because I know we got to move on. But the one thing that bothered me about it is, like, you've been building him up for weeks, right? To showcase him in front of the fans. Why not have this on TV? That's why I said that part doesn't make any sense to me. And he's the NXT Male Superstar of the Year, voted by the fans. This is a easy and they wasn't even on there that long. It's Netflix. You could have put the commercial at any spot.
Yeah. I mean, or open the show with like, hey, it only took a minute or two. Like, hey, Javon Evans, we just wanted to get you signing your contract because you're officially now on SmackDown. Bam, done, over. We got to see it. The fans get to get their little pop about it and all that kind of stuff and excitement. And we move forward. Because WWE, they have a history of like coming out here with like 15-20 minute promos to start the show.
Exactly.
You look at my watch, like, dang, this show been on for 20 minutes,
and they haven't wrestled yet.
And I haven't seen a punch thrown. They've been in the ring talking. But whatever. That's just kind of what we got. Again, strange to go along with Stranger Things, I guess.
They better not do that with Oba.
And then, hey, they better not do Oba. Like, hey,
fight.
Straight up.
We'll fight.
No cap. They better not do Oba like this at all. That man needs to be on everybody's television screen, Netflix, local, whatever. However you watch it. Oba needs to be.
Tubi, I don't care. Put him on everything.
The ruler. The bringer of war needs to be on everybody's television. That's for sure.
Everybody.
But we hop right into Liv Morgan versus my girl again.
Lara.
I got you. Thank you. Lara Valkyria. We got a match between these two ladies. again, decent match. Not anything crazy, anything right home. I just good to see Liv Morgan back in the ring. It's good to see Liv Morgan getting the W. I don't really know exactly what this really is going to build story-wise for Liv and Lyra, or if there's anything more coming from it. They had their match. It's a decent match, and we kind of just moved on from there. I don't know if you got anything you want to add to that specifically.
No,
I just thought it was placed in the middle of a Stranger Things thing, and I was just like, okay, well, I mean, it's Liv, it's Lyra.
Stranger Things for a Stranger episode. It was just
yeah. Because what I was waiting for the whole time is the championship match, because I'm like, all right, what are we going to see here? This is what I thought would make the show Stranger Things what it was, for Raw strange, is if we actually saw a new champion being crowned ahead of WrestleMania. And unfortunately, boys, we got the same old when it comes to it.
Yeah.
CM Punk over Braun, the build, the hype, all of it, the promos, all of that stuff leading up to it, paid off in the exact way that we thought it would pay off, with CM Punk going in over Braun, getting the W. And to make matters worse, there was no surprise factor here. Surprise factor meaning there's no Chris Jericho sighting. There was a lot of speculation that Chris Jericho was going to make his debut on Monday Night Raw, Stranger Things. We got none of that. And so it kind of just felt empty at the end. And I was like, all right, well, what was the hype? What was the hype about Raw, Stranger Things? What did they do that was so different, that was so amazing, that kicked off this first Raw
design and promotion?
I saw some of the set design and props from Stranger Things. That's cool. I love Stranger Things, love the show, but I wanted Stranger Things in my Monday Night Raw, and I felt like they under-delivered on that. What was your thoughts about it, Mr.
They extremely under-delivered. It's ridiculous because you hype up Stranger Things, and like not one Stranger Things person was there. Like none of the main characters. You got to have at least one, right? At least one, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'll go to the match after I say this one quick thing. But I understand they have a partnership with Netflix, and this is something that I guess you want to promote your other brands through which would probably a show that's going to bring a lot of eyes. Stranger Things doesn't need the promotion, but they've been doing it throughout the year. But they've been bringing these like low level stars on there, and you know how they used to be like Macaulay Culkin's here, and Danielle Fisher is here, Topanga, and those people we know. Then they'll put some Netflix stars on there that we've never heard of. They were like Jonathan Matthews, and like what show is that? And it was like from the John. I'm like, what is that show about? So like they have these people come on there and they're waving at the crowd. They get no pop. People don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I get it. You're trying to promote throughout Netflix, and I guess that's a part of the deal. Well, there's no need for you to do Stranger Things, shows if you're not gonna have any Stranger Things. Like, where's Vector? Like, why did he not show up? Like you done had the gobbledygooker come out there. You couldn't get somebody in a Vector costume out there. He could have appeared at the end of the match and be like, oh shoot, and then cut off, and I'd have been like, okay, at least they threw something in there. But no. So I'll let that is what it is. Now the match itself, there's a part of me that wished that Braun Breaker didn't have this match now. Like I feel like we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's like it's stalling. The vision is stalling right now.
Yeah.
They don't have Seth Rollins, which they need, in my opinion, in order to make this truly work.
Yeah.
Having Seth Rollins makes this work.
Right.
He's the big name. He's top 3 wrestler in the company. The turn on him, the way that happened to Triple H with Batista and Randy Orton to help build the other guys, that was an important piece of this. And Paul Heyman, as much as I love him, is not enough for these guys. It's just to me, it's just not working. And then them having this match and him losing, I would have rather this happen at WrestleMania. Yeah. I would have rather this happen on a PLE, Royal Rumble. And I agree with you. And for Punk to beat him, I guess semi straight up is like, I get it because he's CM Punk, but I felt like, and I would have rather it been like, oh my God, Seth Rollins is back, and he cost, like, build it to where I'm like, okay, it doesn't hurt Braun, and maybe he's feuding with Seth. Seth's probably still hurt, obviously, but I needed something like that to make it work. And unfortunately, I think it does hurt him. It hurts the vision as a
Yeah.
whole. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if before Mania or right after Mania, the vision is done.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think if the vision will be no more at some point, and they're gonna be like, look, we're just gonna go individual. Maybe the turncoat situation with Austin Theory that you brought up beautifully. That now it's so funny that ever since I heard you say it, everybody and their mama's like, I think he's a double agent. I said, nah, HP Prince.
Yeah.
He said
No,
that
you
shit
heard that here
first.
first, fellas.
No. He said that first. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, all of y'all are talking about that. But I
Yeah.
digress. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to see Punk lose the belt right away because I feel like that's a Mania. If he loses, it should be a Mania.
Yeah.
And so but I just hated it for Braun. I hated it for Braun because it doesn't help him grow, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I do agree with what you're saying. I do think it probably would have been better to see this happen on a bigger stage. Especially because of how they've been trying to build Braun Breaker as being this next like main eventer and putting him in that spotlight. And I thought he handled the match well. I thought him and CM Punk actually put on a really good match. That wasn't the issue there. It was just the fact that the vision, it just feels like you say, like it has no vision. It has no real direction. And this is where I would like to see Austin Theory, somebody like that, take the reins and start to like say, look, we've tried this y'all way. Now we're gonna, I'm taking this over. I'll get it done. And start a story of him, taking hold of the vision and climbing and going forward. Because right now, even with Paul Heyman, like you said, it still just feels like I said, like last week, you got Larry Moe Curly and Justin Timberlake. And it's just not, the people that are coming into the WWE umbrella right now are feeling like they have more aura and have bigger star power. Talking about Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Obafemi, and that vibe, that energy feels bigger around them. And Braun has already been on WWE for over a year. So has Braun Breaker. Not Braun Breaker, but Bronson Reed. And so I don't know if there's a connection with them. And I think that's what the problem is. There's no real connection with like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, like organic connection to them. Like I said, you don't really see people wearing 23 mile per hour shirts. Like you don't really see like tsunami shirts. Like I just feel like they put them together because they thought like, all right, this will be the next, because they were doing really well with Bronson and Tsunami Reed for a minute with the tsunamis, him tsunami and everybody like just destroying stuff.
Yeah, the way Wade Barrett says tsunami, like,
and then they kind of went away from it for a while. I know he was injured or something like that, and so they kind of got away from that. So they kind of lost that win that was at its sales. Braun Breaker came in like a hurricane, kind of did his thing, won the IC title, and they kind of thrusted him in. But it's just, you still don't have that, I guess that connection with them. And I don't think Paul Heyman is just enough right now to like get them to get you to feel, to get them over to feel like, oh, like the vision is it. I think you're right. When they lost Seth Rollins, they really lost the soul of the vision, because you've got Seth Rollins, he's the architect, he's all this stuff. And then the way that he was going about faking injuries and coming back, dropping the crutches, like all these things that was just like, this is like thinking like levels above, levels ahead, whatever. That's kind of gone now because Seth isn't there. And now it's just the weight is on Braun, Bronson, and Logan Paul. And it's like, they're probably better as individuals than they are right now as a unit in the division. And they just really need a leader. I think they don't have a leader, like a lead dog per se. And I think that's the issue there. But
they don't have the credibility, and that's what gave them, because it's like we said, evolution. I mean, obviously they had Flair in Evolution, so that's that alone. But you had
limousine riding.
I mean, you can like compare maybe like Paul to Flair based off of just like who they are in stature, right? Hall of Famers, so on. Triple H, obviously, Seth Rollins, and then you got your two guys who are your wing people. My problem with it is, like, Logan Paul doesn't feel like he should be there, right?
No.
Right? They just kind of threw him in there, right? Logan Paul is his own personality. He doesn't need the vision. That's the thing. Like, Logan Paul doesn't need the vision. He's amazing in the ring. He's this famous podcaster. They hate him. If he was a world champion, they would absolutely hate this sucker, and it would work. Yeah. So if they ever put the title on him, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Austin Theory needed the vision. We all knew that he needed the vision.
Yeah.
Bronson he's a heel. He's just a straight up heel. He doesn't even really need the vision. If they keep just tsunamiing folks the way he was going about it, he could have built that on his own.
Oh, yeah.
Problem is Braun is actually a face.
Yeah.
His character all the way through is a face. Can he be a heel? Obviously, he's doing it now. But you notice that when he's a face, the energy level is different. The fans treat him a lot. They love him.
Yeah.
The hoo feels different.
Yeah.
To me, he's better off as being a face. And that's why I say I think the elements are just not working. Like Batista was a heel when he came into it. Orton was a heel when he came into it.
Yeah.
Everybody they were just nasty dudes that just, Austin Theory was a guy who was out here, selfieing, and, Austin Theory was U.S. champion, but nobody really cared about him. Like, so it was just like, it just didn't, I don't know. They tried to make it evolution and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You can take your losses and move on from this. Cause at some point I think it happens. It's got to happen either after Mania or before Mania, but the division ain't visioning.
Yeah.
Is that simple? They're not visioning.
Yeah.
No.
It's going to be sad. It's kind of sad to see. Like, I don't know how this is going to crumble and fall apart, but yeah, unless they can figure out something, like I said, where somebody can really like take the reins and like, recreate themselves to feel like they are a main player. It's not going to be the same. And I just feel bad because Paul Heyman is involved, and Paul Heyman is generally pretty good about getting people, over and to that next level when he's involved with them. I mean, I'm not saying he hasn't had his misses, in his time, but he's generally pretty decent.
Yeah, give him Gunther. Shoot. Just toss him in there at this point. That's
a ring.
Coming, I get him just talking nasty to people.
That was Monday Night Raw, Stranger Things. Now we're going to get to NXT and Shawn Michaels doing what he always does, cooking it up and serving it up on that NXT. All right, Knights. So we hopping over to NXT now, where the show started off crazy. We got Blake Monroe out here, and NXT gave us a swerve. They really did, because we've all been thinking about, and Mr. Xclusive and I have been talking about this too, about Thea Hale winning the women's North American Championship and how that whole debauchery thing went down, and that Blake Monroe was going to be getting her title back some way, somehow, from Thea Hale. And, and I kind of like what they've been doing the last couple of weeks with Blake Monroe's character and her trying to get back her title, blaming the refs and things of that nature. But we start off with like a little bit of a brawl to begin NXT. And we lead into what becomes Thea Hale getting into the ring and offering for anyone to come out and challenge for the women's North American Championship. And in that challenge, of course, women come pouring from out of the back to try to get into the ring. But it is Izzy Dane. Izzy Dane is who ends up being the ultimate challenger for the women's North American Championship. Now, what I want to say about this though is in the promo with Thea Hale cutting the promo about like anyone coming out and challenging for it almost sounds like she was in tears and crying, like just ahead of time, knowing probably what was going to happen. And it's just sad because you can just see like the lack of belief in her and her ability to carry this title at this point in time, knowing that the reason why she got the title was sort of because of a botch finish or whatever. And so it kind of led into like, all right, are they going to go with this and build Thea Hale, or, are we going to really just take the title off of Thea Hale within 2 weeks? And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what NXT decided to do. Thea Hale loses the title to Izzy Dane, which is not a bad thing. I'm not upset about it. I'm happy for Izzy Dane, and happy for her to have this title run if they're going to go this way. But it also is like, all right, well, Blake Monroe, what happened to her getting her rematch and getting her title back? But we also know that Blake Monroe is set to make her debut on the main roster at some point. So you've got to find your next. NXT is in this spot right now where they're being just gutted of talent of all of their.
They're just trying to figure it out at this point.
Yeah. And so they're throwing anything against the wall, trying to see what sticks at this point in time because there's so many call ups to the main roster, which I'm happy for everybody being called up to the main roster. NXT, I've said for a while, has been to me the best of the 3 WWE products. Just the talent, the stories that you get. And I just think it's because it's in that small field where they can focus more on, the stories and on the wrestlers and their growth and all of that kind of stuff that just kind of to me makes the show better. But Thea Hale loses the title to Izzy Dane. We know, hey, what's going on, BJ? How you doing, man? We know that Blake Monroe is going to be called up. So I guess apparently we're not going to get a rematch between Thea Hale and Izzy Dane, or Thea Hale and Blake Monroe, or a match between Blake Monroe and Izzy Dane. Like, is this just it? This is the last match that we saw from Blake Monroe that was a botch? Like, what do you think about that, Mr. Xclusive?
There was a lot going on in this. So, first of all, I want to bring attention to how Blake Monroe went to her dark stage here. This is Mariah May that we're seeing right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know that, because she started wearing black here because it's almost like she's in mourning. She's in mourning that she lost her title. And she has taken it out. It's a more aggressive side of her. And I love what I've seen on that front. Like, I love that Mariah May. I love that Blake Monroe is that inner child. Like that promo they cut a couple months ago where she was talking to herself.
Yeah, in the mirror.
I need that person. So, like, that's why I would personally rather her stay on NXT, because if that person is your NXT World Champion, I'm intrigued every week to see what what is she saying? Like, why is Mariah May talking in Blake Monroe's ear? Like, I would be excited about that. But anyway, this just took a weird turn. And I feel bad for Thea because I feel like you said, I feel like they don't think she was ready for the title yet. They did, but supposedly she was in the plans to get it at some point here in the next year, is what the talk was, but it just came early. And instead of like maybe running with it a little bit and maybe adjusting their plans to make it work, it's almost, I feel like she was kind of being punished because of the mistake. And it happens, but it's both her. Obviously Mariah May, whatever. Blake Monroe got knocked out in that match for locked the breath out of it. So it was a mistake that was made on like a couple people's parts. It would have looked botchy if Thea just like jumped up all of a sudden. She probably wasn't expecting it. Happened the way it happened. But for them to swerve us a little bit and make Izzy Dane the person to come out and win this title, I don't completely hate this because of the rivalry that she's having with Tatum Paxley, who should be, by the way, still NXT champion, because we didn't get a chance to enjoy that, but like for 3 weeks. But I think that's going to be a really nice rivalry if they're going to continue to have those two go at it, even though technically she beat her and, I supposedly it's over. But Izzy Dane has a good, like, she has the look. Like when I see her, she just feels like a champion. I'll give her that much. I think her mic work probably needs a little work, but I still look at her, I'm like, all right, I can get behind this. But how long? How long will you let Izzy Dane build up and be champion here? Like, I don't. And NXT's been doing this for over a year though, like where they've been bouncing back on these titles. I mean, they've done it on the women's side for a minute. Julia was champion, and Stephanie was champion, and Jason James champion, and like they've been just tossing the belts around back and forth.
Yeah,
I don't know. I still believe in Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels does cook on a week-to-week basis. It's either here or there. And this was still, to me, this was still here. This was
still
a good
show.
Like I was still a good show. I was still like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So, but it was definitely a nice little swerve, and I'm just intrigued to see how they kind of play it all out. They've got a lot of great women wrestlers. Once again, the NXT is. They're just cooking them out,
Yeah,
they're just cooking out great women's wrestlers back to back. So
yeah,
but I'm intrigued to see where they go with it overall and how they develop this picture. And where's Jada Parker? Where is
I know
Jada
we haven't
Parker?
seen her in a minute.
Where's Jada, man? Like,
yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
Jada?
I was surprised I didn't see her in a group of girls running out there, you know, for the opportunity. Yeah.
Jada, where are you?
I don't fear for NXT when it comes to the women's division, because I do believe that they have enough talent and stars to really keep that division afloat. It is the men's division that I think will take the bigger hit. Because I even believe I heard there's rumors of JC Jane being called up to the main roster as well. She's currently the women's NXT champion. So, you know, I like I said, you know, it's one of those things where you're excited for these you know, NXT wrestlers that are being called up and for them to have these opportunities. And it's also like we're getting ready to get a bunch of new fresh faces on the main roster. But it's also one of these things of like, all right, well, you know, can NXT kind of recoup from this many top stars being called up all at once? But I have faith and I have belief that Sean can get it done one way or the other.
The men's division is scary right now, though.
The men's division is scary, but there's still a saint in all of this, and we're talking about Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints,
you know, Pretty Ricky, what they call him. He's still here in NXT, and I think you know, Ricky, he comes out, you know, he cuts his promo, and you know, and this is good. This is good for the men's division. As far as we know, Javon's gone. We know Trick's gone. We know Oba you know, is gone. And so you're really down to Ricky and Ethan Page, you know, still there trying to carry the men's division. Yeah. And so they're going to be forced to kind of build up this men's division and replace those, you know, those vacancies, those voids that's going to be left by those guys. I have confidence that Ricky Saints can do it. Ricky Saints can do it. You know, Jasper Troy,
they about to make him NXT champ, bro. Watch out. They're like, this next Oba.
Look, no. I like Jasper. And I actually think Jasper puts on some really good matches. He does. Change his music up, man. Like the music that he's coming out to is just diabolical. It has no feel, no vibe for like a Jasper Troy to me. But Ricky Saints, he's got to be the one that steps in and fills that void. I think he's just the obvious choice to carry the brand at this stage right here as the men's division tries to find itself and kind of move forward. You know, what are your thoughts on, you know, the next person, the next face for NXT? You know, is it Ricky Saints? Should it be a Jasper Troy or somebody new, something different? Or do we get a 2 belts Ethan Page or 3 belts Ethan Page?
Give me 3 belts Ethan Page, baby. Because look, let me tell you, look, here's the thing. I love Ricky Saints. And if they make Ricky Saints champion, like once again, another title reign that is done way too fast. Ethan's title reign was done way too fast. That's what I'm saying. They're switching the title too much. Either him or Ethan, I feel like, can run with it. They're both great talkers. Ethan has this weird like way about him, but I love it. I love Ethan. I was not an Ethan Page fan. I didn't get all the hype, but he has won me over. Like this last year, I'm like, Ethan Page, my guy. My boy got mad at me, told me I was racist because I picked Ethan Page over Javon Evans. I'm like, no, it's not that. And he told me that he was like, oh, you racist. Now, granted, this guy's white. He told me I was racist because I picked Ethan Page over Javon Evans. And I'm like, look, I love Javon, man. I said, but Ethan has got something about him, you know. Javon's going to do amazing things on the main roster. I'm hyped for my boy, but I love Ethan Page. So one of those two, I would say. But after that, who are you developing? Because like unless you're grabbing somebody from outside, you know, to come in, it's not gonna be Sean Spears. Even though I think Sean Spears would be a great NXT champion.
Yeah,
you know, like when he had the North American Championship for like 3 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is about to cook. They didn't give him a chance to like cook. So I'm assuming they're gonna do a tournament here for the title.
They will.
And I don't know where they're gonna go. Hank and Tank gonna be in that tournament? What? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I do think there's
Tavion
dark horse. There's one dark horse in there that has just been lurking in the shadows, and I believe it's Tony D.
Oh, that's right, Tony
D is in there somewhere.
I forgot about Tony D.
I like this opportunity for him because to me it comes down to Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, and Tony D.
I can deal with Tony D being champion,
and I can deal with a Tony D reign as well as the NXT champion and the face of the brand. I love Tony D. Thing. I'm for it. I can't wait to see what his character is. Like I'm excited because they've just been teasing it and teasing it even this week. They just teased him in the shadows and in the
staring at
stands,
the belt,
looking down, staring down at the belt. But let's get to that real quick so we can get on to wrapping up the show with SmackDown. Obafemi, the ruler, the what is it? The ruler. I keep wanting to say conqueror now because I didn't start putting conqueror.
And then you were the one killing it. Like you had it the other week, man. The breakup changed. You was like, you giving them all the names. I'm like, yeah, that's bring a war. Yeah, bring a war.
It's all in between, but it's all right. But the ruler, he comes out, he has his match. And it was heartbreaking for me because it was the last match in NXT as the NXT champion because the match between him and Slater, phenomenal work. Great work. Those two guys tore the house down. I absolutely loved it. And it's just one of those things that you're going to miss when it comes to being able to see Obafemi in NXT. Just the attention that they gave him, how they build him. And just the matches that he puts on in that environment. I'm hoping that it's done right on the main roster. It's looking like they're going to try to build him right and do big things with him. So I'm excited and nervous at the same time about his main roster call up. But this right here was just a wonderful match, beautiful match, ending supreme. And it cuts to this backstage thing. All the talent is out there talking. I
don't know none of those people, by the way. I don't know any of those people, by the way.
But I was trying to look at faces in here and see if there's anybody that's like, okay, do I recognize any of these people?
One guy
absolutely
like
not.
Love.
I'm like, why are they in here talking to Ava? Doesn't matter because the second I'm asking myself that question, they're like, Ava, look, and they point, and we get to this scene right here where the ruler was standing in the ring holding up the NXT title. When it cuts to Ava and cuts back, the ruler is gone. And the NXT title is just left in the center of the ring. And I just, I just start shedding tears, because it's like,
it's been
done.
A magical run, man.
It is finished.
It's been a magical run.
Yeah. It's over. And I'm like, what does this mean, man? Like what happens next? Obafemi, one of the greatest NXT title holders of all time, vacates the title in the center of the ring and kind of just opens up this whole can of like what's next for NXT for the men's division for the next champion, which is exciting. It's an exciting thing, but it's also one of those things of like, all right, Shawn Michaels, we talk about you being the chef. We talk about you cooking all the time.
Yes.
You are going to have to make one hell of a dish coming up here in the next few weeks.
Thanksgiving meal, buddy.
That gets us all on the same page because this is just a serious void on the men's division because they were just gutted of like their three biggest, brightest stars. Mr. Xclusive, what do you think? What are your thoughts about the NXT title?
I'll keep it quick because I know we do got to go to SmackDown, and we've had such a ball talking. I didn't realize we've been in there for an hour, but we love you guys, so we're having a good time. But so my thing with this is, Shawn is going to have to cook the biggest dish that he's had in a long time. The women's division are going to be fine. They got too many stars down there. Even if they call people up, they got Kendall Gray, they got my girl Armstrong from Evolved. They got people who are going to be fine. I don't think hell they got Wendy Chu out there somewhere, and I don't even know where she went to. I think she's been on the Evolved show. They got Nikita Lyons, who actually made her debut on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. I think like on a sneak on one of those like earlier shows. So like they've got people on women's side. Men's side is a concern. Now, I will say this could be a little bit of maybe a prediction, but I got a feeling that maybe Moose and Leon Slater are going to make their way to NXT. I mean, and I think that's something because they're the only two TNA stars that we've seen on there lately. And we've noticed that the ones that WWE like the most, the Joe Hendrys, those guys they brought. I heard Santana was supposed to eventually come on there too. So that's why I think like they're not completely done because they're going to take a few of those TNA stars, maybe sliding over to NXT. So that may save them and give them a little bit more of a reprieve. I don't know if that happens for sure, but Slater's one that I definitely think WWE likes him and Moose both. And so I think those two for sure I got a feeling they will make their way over there at some point. And, Heck, I mean, technically, Drew Hendry is still on there, but I think they're priming him for SmackDown. He's not going to be on NXT long. He's got too much clout right now for them to like leave him on NXT. I think overall, I mean, we've got some good things. Technically, we still got some unresolved things with Stacks and Tony D. I know they had their match, but that could be a nice storyline down the line with Adriana out here acting all up, and that was actually a little funny thing that they did too with her, and homeboy tried to kiss her, and then that was funny. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think Shawn Michaels will figure it out. And, but this will be the biggest test because it's a whole new crop. And every time we thought it was going down, they found a way to be like, well, look at this, what they got going on. Let's see if they can build more stars. Let's see.
Well, if there's anybody that can do it, it's definitely Shawn Michaels. Yes. It's definitely the chef himself. Just put him in the kitchen and let him cook. And we're going to see what happens. Like I said, they have some options there. I just hope that, they put together a good tournament. And I'd like to see just a banger match that goes on for this NXT title. Whether it be a Tony D and Stacks, whether it be a Joe Hendry and Jasper Troy. I don't know how Sean's gonna cook this up, but I just want a great tournament to crown the next NXT champion. And I'm looking forward to it. But with that said, that wraps up our NXT portion. Let's jump into the recovery, to what WWE did this week on Friday Night SmackDown that just shook up the wrestling industry for WWE.
Yes.
Let's hop into that Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Man, SmackDown was just a phenomenal show. Great show, start to beginning. This is what I wanted for Monday Night Raw. I wanted Monday Night Raw to have this vibe, this Stranger Things vibe where anything can happen. The unbelievable happens here type of feel. But we didn't get that. But for SmackDown, they made it up. And it's like E always talks about, like, why WWE seems to put on their best shows overseas, but when they're home in the States, they give us the regular degular gas, they give you that regular 85 octane. I don't understand it. I don't know why, but when they go to Germany or go to Europe or some overseas country, they put the high octane, the high test in there and get that engine purring, boy. And they started off the show well with none other than yours truly, RKO, Randy Orton himself, coming out, starting off the show again for a second week. I don't know exactly what's happening here. If we're getting a build to something big for Randy Orton this year, it's a possibility. But the fact that we're starting to see him week in and week out is exciting. And I love this, guys. I love this because of the interaction that came from it. In the middle of Randy Orton cutting his promo, the 808 drop, and it is yours truly.
Yeah,
Willie.
Trick. Whoop that trick.
And the European fans understood the job. They understood the task with the whoop that chance. And it was a whoop that in their own European way, but we could hear it and feel it over here in the US pause. But but I was so hyped for this moment, for this opportunity to see Randy Orton standing in the ring. Trick Willie gets into the ring. He interrupts Randy Orton in the middle of his promo, the Viper, and he cuts his promo about him being the new face, the new star of WWE SmackDown, and how this is getting ready to be the Trick era. Just phenomenal work between these two, and I like the chemistry. I like the way, the energy, the vibe in there. Trick Willie at one point turns his back when he talks about being the new star, the new thing to Randy Orton. I said, why would you do that? You don't turn your back on the Viper. Anything can happen.
Never.
His voice is in his head. But
do it now.
But I liked it because I love how Randy Orton, gets on the mic and he says, I don't know what they're teaching you down in NXT, kid, but one thing is for sure, you never turn your back on the Viper, but I'm gonna let that one pass. I said, oh, he gave him a pass. Randy Orton, he's awesome. I love. Trick talked about, I got what did he say? He said I had 3 titles, 8 abs, 3 titles, 3 chains, 2 feet. You do the math, is what he told Randy Orton. Randy Orton told him, he named off his things, but he said that, but I have 14 titles. And I said, yes, I like the back and forth banner between these two. I would love to see a future where we get a Randy Orton versus a Trick Williams. I think that's great. I thought this was a great way to begin the show. Randy Orton actually, they actually had a little dust up. They got a little physical. Trick got the DDT right before the match, though. I was like, hey, this is bad. I'm like, hey, Trick got a match coming up.
He's gonna lose,
man. We can't have him losing his opening match to Rey Fenix because Randy Orton out here, injuring the star before the show starts. But in the middle of all of that, the Miz pops out. He gets involved, starts beating up Randy Orton, and tries to give him the Skull Crusher finale, only to receive the 3 deadliest letters in the history of the wrestling business.
Yes.
The R.
Walk right into that bad boy.
Oh, and only the Miz could. The Miz, you got him from behind. How did you end up in an RKO? I don't understand. You were winning.
You had the advantage. There was no need for you to be in this situation. Yeah. Look, man, they are. I want to give WWE at least an applause. I know we've been talking a lot of trash about them in this episode, but that's because they do a lot of trashy things. But I do appreciate the way that they're building Trick Williams. They're definitely treating him way different than they treated Carmelo when he came out. Like when Carmelo first got first pick, but he just quickly, Carmelo got pushed behind. Now, hopefully they don't do the same thing with Trick, but I like that they're introducing him right out in the front to these stars. I mean, you say what you want to say about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is one of the best competitors in WWE. And if you're going to have a match with Sami Zayn at some point, he's over here alienating people right off the bat and kind of like slowly just building like baby feuds with people that could, that definitely could work out down the road in his favor. So I like the way they're letting him come out there, talk on the mic. They're letting fans embrace him right off the bat. It's only been 2, but times them fans were hyping. I'm up in the house playing it on repeat. I'm in there getting it in. Like my wife told me the other night, said, how many more times are you going to play that? I said, until I finish. I'm not done yet. I mean, whoop that Trick. She got tired. She was sitting right over here. She was like, bro, how many more times you going to play it? So I was playing on my phone. I switched my phone to the TV, went to the tablet. She said, you watching on all 3 devices. I was like, whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. So I love this. This is the way to get it started, WWE. You're on the right foot. You're on the right foot.
It is. I'm 100% agreement. I like the fact that he's like you say, building these little feuds with every single person. Like, and it's some of these bigger name stars. It gives them a little bit to take from this box, a little bit to take from that box. And I like the fact that Trick, he's not shy about it. He's going out here and he's going for it. He's in the ring with a Randy Orton, cutting good promos. Randy Orton's giving him back the business. He's going back at. I'm like, okay, this is good. He's not shell shocked or stage shocked or stage frightened because I'm in the ring with a Hall of Famer like Randy Orton. He's calling it out, and so he was like, 2026 is Trick Willie's year, or time or era. This is not 2006, and it's just like. I like these. It was a good one. I'm like, I like this stuff, and I like the fact that they're going this direction with it, and I think this is going to pay off big time for Trick Williams. And I like the fact that they're bringing him in. To me, and I could be wrong, but to me, he seems like he's going down a heel path, and I kind of like this.
I love it.
Yeah, I think this is great for him. I really do. And so I excellent way to start the show for SmackDown. Can't complain here. We get into the match. Trick Willie wins, the match over Rey Fenix with the roll up, holding on to the tight. So that's that heel move there. I like it. I like it. I would have liked to see his finish, see him do it with his finish, only because I feel like to continue to introduce for those who don't watch NXT to understand that he has a finishing move, the Trick knee, to kind of just show that off. But this is fine here. The heel roll up, no problem. Because it also sends the message that, hey, Trick might be on a heel path here, and this could be good for him and his character. So I think, hey, look, creative is doing a good job right now. They're killing it with Trick. And I hope they do the same for Javon and Obo when they get into the ring as well. Julia has her match. Alexa Bliss, taking the pin here, giving Julia the dub. Of course, it was with the assistance of some of the
chocolate queens.
Yeah,
my chocolate queens, baby. Yes,
right now.
sir.
Lash Legends and Nia Jax. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's the type of woman I down from. Yeah. Anyhow, but yeah, these ladies right here just killing it. They're getting involved. Helps Julia go over, which is great for Julia because I know the WWE has been trying to kind of build Julia back up because I think they botched her, in my opinion, tremendously. Yeah, because she should have been right up there with a La Primera as far as the talent, her in-ring ability. I think she's got the look, she's got the intro, she's got the wrestling moves, but they just did not package her and sell her as well as they did with La Primera. So I'm glad to see that Alexa Bliss gets in and puts somebody over like Julia, start to give her some credibility and start to give her reign with the U.S. title some prestige. And I think this is the reset that WWE needs. And I think they're going about it, at least with SmackDown. They hit on this in every cylinder when it comes to all the different things that they put in throughout the show. But what were your thoughts about Julia, Lash Legends, Alexa Bliss, and this match?
I like this because, as much as I dislike the way they've used Julia, and I still feel like Julia probably should be on NXT, but I get it. They were trying to make something happen. I get that. And it's crazy because they've been on there a year now, and it doesn't really seem like it, right? Like, it feel like they just got called up, but yeah, it seems like they just got there. That tells you how time is flying. But they this is a nice win for her. And I think WWE needs to continue down this path where you use your crafty, strong veterans to help build up these young people. They've done a really good job with Becky Lynch doing that with Lyra. Because now, when Lyra first got there, it was like, what are they doing? But
yeah,
a few with Becky Lynch got her the notoriety. Now she's with Bayley. So that's kind of working because they're using those top stars to help build those young guns. They're even doing it with Roxanne, with her being with Liv. Pair these young guns with the older people. If it's via match, if it's via, hang with me, I'll teach you the way. That's the way you got to do it, And then they paired her with what's my girl name? Is it Katana James? Or I want to say it wrong.
Kiana James.
Yeah, Kiana James. So, and Kiana herself is somebody that we're not even getting a chance to really see. Mm-hmm. And she's good too. So it's just like they pair them with it, but nobody knows James like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She needs to have that. Like, I need her to go up against Charlotte Flair and sneak a win against Charlotte. Like, these things need to happen to continue to have her grow. And I was generally happy for her, but they did a really bad job of getting her going and going to Lash and Nia. First of all, shout out to Nia Jax. Girl, you look good. You are trimming down. You look good when you were your size that you were. But I'm so happy for you on a personal level to see that you are getting back to where you want to be. I saw the wedding pictures. You look great at the wedding. You and Lash Legend out here looking like whole snacks. And no offense to our wives. We love our wives.
Yeah.
But we acknowledge.
Hey, look, my wife looks like Roman all day. So
yeah, right. All right. We acknowledge your beauty. We acknowledge your beauty, babies. We love y'all. But I'm just saying, they come out there, they look strong once again. And so now, at some point they're going to be, I feel like they'll be tag team champions at some point. And I don't know how that or when that happens. Maybe that's the next rivalry that we see between those two. I don't know. Yeah. But I liked it. I like how they came out strong. And it's another smart move where you paired somebody like Nia Jax with Lash Legend to help build her up. Good job, WWE. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah. They're killing it with the parents. I do think, especially in the women's division, they're hitting on the cylinders with that. Because I've said for multiple times now, I love the pairing of Lash and Nia together. I really do. So we get Nick Aldis, SmackDown's general manager, and Jordynne Grace making her debut, showing that she's officially on SmackDown. I'm so excited for Jordynne Grace.
I'm excited about this too.
I really didn't think that she got the run that I wanted her to have in NXT. Not that it was a bad run. She had some great matches. I just expected bigger. Like, I expected she would be the women's champion at some point in time. It didn't happen, but she's now on the main roster. I'm happy for her. Great things coming. I like the fact that already we You got Chelsea Green.
That's right. You know who they introduced it to. You know who they introduced it to, Trip.
There you go.
Come on now.
Yeah. They did this just right. This leads into a match with the Secret Service here later on. We'll get to that in a second. But before that, we had my family tree.
My guy. My guy Solo
Sikoa versus the Wyatt Six. Now, this match right here, nothing bad about it. It was a good match, good tag team match, and I like the fact how they built around this finish with this lantern and it having some type of like serious meaning. But it was a solid match for the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. But just when Uncle Howdy had it seemed like everything was in the bag for this match. Solo picks up the lamp that led to Uncle Howdy just being destroyed by a bunch of finishers, eventually pinned. And so we see the MFTs get the dub, over the Wyatt Six. And nothing bad. I just don't know. It's just hard for me with this right here because of the fact that I feel like the Wyatt Six have so much potential to be like, and I guess it's just my nostalgia and love for Bray Wyatt that I just wanted to see. And I thought like, what Uncle Howdy's doing is still kind of is special and it's still unique and he's still delivering things and doing it in his own way that is still really cool, but kind of has a little bit of that Bray feel to it. And I thought the WWE would dive into that a little bit more, but then we see them and then we rarely see them. It's no real bit like they're tag team champions, but we rarely see them. Like it's like I don't know if they know exactly what to do with the Wyatt Six, but they have this great faction that I think could be really cool and is really cool. But they're just not. They're not using them. They're not building them the way that I feel like they should. But MFT's kind of the same way. They give Solo and them the opportunity. I will say be on week in, week out, kind of show their things or whatever. But it just felt like a little bit of a blah match. This is the blah spot right here for me, just because I wanted to be more invested, but I just don't think I don't really have that connection with it. But what were your thoughts about it?
I think the biggest thing is they at this point I feel like the MFTs need to be the tag team champions at the minimum. I still think they took the US title away from Solo too quick because Solo was cooking. Like, that faction still has a lot of potential to be nasty. Like they could be dogs if they wanted them to be. And then right now it's just kind of in the they're just kind of lingering around a little bit. But their entrance was fire. I saw somebody post it was like, man, this is the most aura that I've seen Jeff Cobb have since he got there. Just the way that they came out there, and I was just like, it do look clean. Now, Solo being the only one not wearing the face paint, I mean, I get it, but I feel like he should have it on too. For some reason, I just don't know why. Even if it's at the beginning of the match or at some point. But I think they could still do something special with them, but they need to be tag team champions. The Wyatt Six, their problem is they had such a great opening in Raw when they killed Chad Gable, all that other stuff, and we haven't seen Chad Gable since.
Hey, come back, Chad.
I
miss Chad.
We miss Chad. And he looks, I seen a picture of him the other day. My man looks ripped. Like when he gets back, it's going to be something special. So y'all watch out for Chad. But there's a part of me that just like they fumbled. And I feel like they just gave them the tag team titles just because. And there's no real, they don't have any real, like this is the only real storyline that they've had. Yeah. They had one early on, but this one actually feels a little like something. But it's still like this should have been, War Games match, but I know it didn't have enough star power. This felt like they could have just do an extra War Games match in there. Yeah. This would have been the one, maybe help build it up a little bit. But in the end, like you said, nothing too serious. It was solid, and I just see where they kind of go from here. But I wasn't too like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah,
it was okay.
Hey,
it was solid.
Hey, bring back the Profits.
Yes.
Next thing, we get into. Jordan Grace has her debut match here with the Secret Service, Alba Fire.
Get a room,
great
ladies.
Match. Great match. Jordan Grace, gets the W to kind of have her introductory match on SmackDown. I felt good for her. I was happy for her. I could tell, there was this era when she came out of like, man, I'm on SmackDown. Like I'm literally walking out of a SmackDown entrance. You could just see her kind of taking that in before she entered the ring. Put on a great match. Great for Jordan Grace. But what I think I liked the most about this was the end where Jordan's walking back to the locker room and Jade comes out. Of course, reminding everybody that this is her yard, that this is her territory, and that she is that B. Yeah. And I think this match here could cook between a Jordan Grace and a Jade Cargill, two women powerhouses. And so I'm liking what WWE is doing here with kind of building again another small little feud that could go the distance here between Jade and Jordan Grace. But of course, we know that the big payoff's got to be Bianca. I'm sticking to that. Bianca at WrestleMania for Jade, but I still would like to see this match here between a Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill. I think that could cook. What are your thoughts on Jade and Grace?
Yeah, I think the big payoff is Jade. And I know her and Naomi have fought before, but that's something I would like to see as with Jade being champion. Or at some point maybe Naomi and I don't know. And I still think that's something that there's some unfinished business with them two. But yeah, Bianca, whenever her finger gets better, because it looks rough. The last time I saw a picture of it, it did not look good.
No.
So whatever they did to my girl, hopefully she'll be back soon. But I'm pretty sure she's enjoying this time off and getting time to rest up. So when she come back, it's going to be a really big deal. But I like this though. There's one thing like Jordan Grace, like you said, she didn't get a title run on NXT. I don't want them to like bury her, on SmackDown. So I like that there's, a hints of maybe a feud. Maybe this is something that doesn't happen right away. I don't want it to happen right away. I know that this sounds crazy, but I still feel like that we need to see Jade defend the title a couple times, just like, and I mean Goldberg style, just dominate some people. I need to see a little bit more of her just hurting folks, her business style, we heard people like,
we heard
people. But I want to see her do a little bit more of that. I think personally, yes, title reign on the wrestling front hasn't been great, but I think the way that they're building her is not bad. It's just that people are so impatient. I think that, people are like, oh, she's not doing anything. This is true. That part of me I do hate because I feel like they need to have her in the ring a little bit more, just dominating folks. I don't even care if they're jobbers. Yeah. She just needs to beat up on some people. And so I like the fact that they use Michin's injury to say, yeah, I heard her. I was like, I did it. She needed to understand. And then I think B-Fab got hurt too. And she was like, yeah, I did it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, I did this. I'm hurting people now.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. I'm good with that. Yeah. If that's the way you want to build her,
good way to use it. Good way to use it.
Yeah. I told you, a good heel hurts people.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be nasty. I love it.
Yeah. The only thing I will say real quick, and we'll move forward, is I wonder if we're not seeing Jade in action enough is because they're still trying to protect her and keep her, from being in front of the fans' eyes too often because, she's highly criticized whenever she's in the ring about her wrestling style, stuff like that. But I feel like this is the time that you should still be putting her in the ring so she can continue to have that growth. I know that she's doing house shows and that's where some of these injuries are coming from or whatever, but she's still your women's champion, and you want to see her in the ring, continuing to hone her craft and continue to grow, as a female wrestler and performer. So I do need them to give her more than just coming out and telling everybody, she's that B. Put her in the ring and let
us see it. And that's what I'm saying. Like you could get lower to heck if you need to bring NXT stars up to take some beatings, do that. Yeah. I mean, but make her strong. Like people are going to notice that because we know real fans know the NXT people that are going to come up there.
Yeah,
maybe you give Thea Hale a chance out of nowhere and she gets kicked the next week, but it's not going to hurt her on NXT. You know what I'm saying? Right, but it will make her look. It'll make Jay look stronger. So I think those are things they have to like maybe implement a little bit.
Yeah,
but I don't think like promo wise, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
and I like the way they're using her. I like that. It's just they gotta figure out the wrestling part of it, which I know that's a big part of it. They got to figure out
a big part of it.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah, shout out to the creative team and the way they're carrying it right now. I think they're doing a good job, especially with, like I said, what they did this week on SmackDown.
Yeah, that was good. That was
Um,
good.
we did. Oh, we got. Oh gosh, we got Axiom and Johnny Gargano out here attacking Nick Frazier from Axiom.
That's crazy.
So I guess we're building towards that. I don't know where Tommaso is, but yeah,
I heard he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, I'm about to say I know that they're talking about his contract expiring, but I don't know exactly when that is. But I would still expect that he would still be on television.
Yeah,
it's, it is what it is. Some things behind the scenes. I'm sure they're working it on and they'll figure it out. But this is good. This is a good thing. It's a good match. I would love to see a Nick Frazier versus Joey Gargano. I think they could cook. I'm a big fan of Joey anyway. I just think that he's a superb wrestler and in-ring talent. So yeah, and Nick Frazier we know can go. We had the U.S. title defended against Shinsuke Nakamura, your guy. Carmelo Hayes gets the dub. This is great for Carmelo Hayes, great for his run as the U.S. champion. Glad to see it. But at the same time, it was just like, oh, Shinsuke. I remember there was a time in the sun where you were just that dude. And now you're out here doing the wrestling lord's work, putting people over.
I was about to say, I'll take that. I'll take that. It hurts. It hurts because I there's a part of me I've accepted that this is what they're going to do with Shinsuke, but there's a part of me that just one world title reign, just one. I mean, like we just seen the U.S. Championship in the continent. No, just one world title reign, just nasty. Oh, I just want it one time. That's all I want. I don't ask for a lot, and it's probably hard at this point because they're building everybody else up, and I think Shinsuke's okay with where he is. I'm not okay with it, but I'm glad that if he's okay with it, then this was good for Carmelo though. You're going to go against a guy who's a former U.S. champion, former Intercontinental champion, former NXT champion, one of the best wrestlers in the world, and you can go out there and beat him. It looks good for him. So
it does.
I'm happy for Carmelo on that end, but man, dang Shinsuke.
Yeah, Shinsuke.
I got my picture. I took that picture a while back. It's on my wall in the back. I was like, I got to see Shinsuke live. I was like,
Shinsuke was that dude. Yeah, love Shinsuke. All right, we're gonna wrap this up, finish it out, man, with the banger of it all.
Let's get to it.
I love to see the WWE did. As far as me being a critic of like, hey, I just don't see Cody Rhodes losing the belt to Drew McIntyre, so I'm just not invested in this because I just don't feel like Cody's gonna lose it. There's no fear of him losing the belt. WWE did it. 3 stages of hell, a match that was just PLE worthy, just a banger. These guys went the distance. Cody Rhodes. What I like about this was the story that was told just to me, even from the intro. Like with Drew McIntyre having the watch that his dad had to pawn, because they were strapped for cash at the time. He was showing that throughout the show. When Cody comes out and does for his entrance, he just seems a little unhinged, just a little off kilter, not himself. His jacket's open. It's, he doesn't seem like the normal, calm, cool, collected, in control Cody. And I'm like, this is great because, it gives you that feel of like, all right, Cody's he's not in control right now. He has let Drew McIntyre live in his head rent free. And right now, Drew McIntyre kind of has, the leg up. But you still don't think in your mind that Cody is going to lose the match, and so just seeing this in the traditional match, Drew, undoes the turnbuckle, the ref gets distracted and goes and tries to put the little protective shell back over top of the turnbuckle. Drew gives Cody a low blow and then gives him a claymore and pins him for the 1, 2, 3. That's like, okay, well, Cody's going to win the next 2 and keep the belt.
Right.
Cody gives him, gives him his finisher, Crossroads on the table, and puts Drew through the table. He gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Now we're down to the cage match. Cage is Lauren. These guys are given. I want to say there was a spot in there where Cody climbed up into the stands, jumped off of one of the gates over one of the entrances onto Drew laying on the table, which I thought was just great because we don't really see Cody do that type of stuff, high flyer type of stuff like that, which was just great for the show and just shows how much these guys were putting into this match. Like I said, it was PLE worthy, just a banger of a match. And then Cage comes down. Drew, Cody are in there just duking it out, battling it out. And some mask covered figure comes out. We don't know who it is. It's the man with the magic boot when he reveals himself. It's Jacob Fatu, and I'm like, oh, this is how it ends. He sees Drew McIntyre getting ready to exit the gate.
Yeah.
He interferes. He actually hits Drew McIntyre, starts beating him up, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. On a match like this is how it's going to end. And then Cody goes to grab Jacob Fatu and puts his hands on him, and Jacob starts beating up Cody, drives him to the opposite end of the cage and of the ring, and starts beating up Cody. And Drew just crawls and falls out of the cage.
Yes.
You don't just walk out of a cage. Well, Jesse the Body Ventura, how about if you just fall out of a cage? Is that okay with you?
One way or the other.
One way or another, you exited this cage. But Drew McIntyre falls out of the cage and is now your new WWE Undisputed Champion. WWE, y'all did it. Y'all did it. You did something that was just out of the norm. Something that just gives you a different vibe, a different feel. Nothing against Cody. I like Cody, but it's just to take a gamble of this nature close to WrestleMania. This is great because now you're like, well, what is the story? What are we getting ready to get? I'm excited for it. Yes. And that's the feeling you want to have when you're watching wrestling. That's the feeling you want to have when you just like, I have to watch because you never know what can happen when it's breaking the mold of just giving you that stiff cookie cutter, same type of like presentation week after week. This was great. It was unexpected, just egg, crow, whatever you want to say, all over my face paws, just by the fact that, I was like, I'm so not invested in this. I can't believe they're doing this. I hate the fact they keep doing this. We know Cody's not losing the belt, and I was wrong. And this is like amazing. It's great stuff. It's exciting. I'm happy for it. I want to give creative and WWE their flowers for this. This is what I call Stranger Things. This is like Stranger Things worthy because this is a strange thing that happened. We don't see something like this. And I just am happy that it happened for Drew McIntyre. And I'm turning it over to you, Mr. Exclusive, because I know Drew is your guy and you have been calling for this for a minute.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And I'm excited because I mean, this is what it was meant to be. Like the work that he put over last year, and a lot of people say, well, I know I probably got crucified for having him as my number one wrestler last year. I get it. But this is why. I mean, like we saw the work that he did leading up to this match, and he had done this a couple times to different people throughout the year. And I'm just sitting there like, this guy needs to be your champion. Like you invested in the money wise, you got him long term. This man got you through the pandemic, and then now finally, in front of crowds, we're going to get to see Drew McIntyre do his best. And I am here for it. I am absolutely stoked that he is a 3-time WWE champion. This is what they need. Now, I'm intrigued now because we have had no build to the Royal Rumble. No one, I feel like it hasn't even been mentioned, which is weird because by this time we're already starting to gear up to who's going to be what, this is that. So this Royal Rumble is going to be very unpredictable. Don't know exactly who's going to do what. Couldn't like usually leading up to, you could be like, okay, this person is going to win. Don't have that in mind. Couldn't tell you who's going to win right now. But the most important thing is Drew McIntyre is champion. I don't know if Cody's about to take a break. I don't know. Obviously, it feels like we're about to get Jacob and Drew here for the next, maybe month or so. I don't know how that's going to go down. But the most important thing is the man that can back it up on all fronts. If it comes to promo on social media, like he is built like a champion. Vince McMahon gave us the prophecy back in 2010. This guy was going to be a future world champion. And I'm happy. I'm truly happy that my guy is finally getting his due to be world champion. Hopefully they don't do him wrong. Please, God, don't give me one of these 1 month title reigns. I don't need that. I think for me, at the minimum till Mania, if you're going to take it from him, just, maybe at Mania, but I don't want that neither. Like, he needs to have the title for the year. Like, he needs to be champion for the year. Let this man get on the mic. Let this man cause chaos. Let Drew McIntyre cook. It's time. You can call it Drew McIntyre glazing. I don't care what you call it. Whatever you call it, whatever you want. But the right man is the WWE champion. Whoever would have thought that we'd have Punk, world heavyweight champion, and Drew McIntyre champion on the other side, at least at the same time.
At the same
time. At the same time.
Yeah, I'm with you. And we're gonna wrap this up, but I think this is great. I think that the WWE should let Drew run with this for a good period of time here, just because the heel work that Drew has been doing has just been, magnifique. It's just been A1,
Yes.
and I like how in Drew's heel run, he messes with the psychology of
So good.
whoever he's his opponent is. Like all the stuff that he did with Cody, from being on his bus when he, and beating him down there, or being on his bus when he's not there, and then having Cody run to try to get to him, but he's in the ring, and then having his dad's watch, and it's just I love all of it. I love all of it, and it's what you want out of a heel, and it has that throwback feel of like heel runs back in the day, where they did stuff like this with the psychology, messing with the psychology of their opponent. And I think this is great, like a different feuds that Drew can have with people and just be that way. The stuff he says on the mic, about being a real dad, showing Brandy who a real daddy is. Like,
great.
Like just diabolical low blow work. And I love it for Drew. I love the fact that the WWE took this leap right here. I don't know, like you say, how long this will go. I don't know if he will carry this into Mania. I hope he does. Maybe we get a triple threat. Maybe it's a Cody, Roman, and Drew. But Drew deserved this. I thought his heel run last year, it should have paid off or culminated in something like this. But we got it now. This is a great way to start off the new year. Great way to start off the first week of WWE wrestling and presentation. Like I said, I didn't think they hit it out of the park with Raw, but I thought SmackDown, they knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
And I think they killed it here. It was great content from beginning to end, 365 days in a year. But just absolutely love it. Same old love. But
that's my girl.
Yeah. And all I want to do is to watch more WWE with you.
That's it.
But no, loved it. Shout out to Drew as the new champion. Thank you, WWE, for for actually pulling the plug and actually doing this, for just going there. This is great. And I cannot wait to see what Drew does. I cannot wait to see what he says. I cannot wait to see how he acts. And he's been able to do it in front of fans this time. This is just great work all the way around. So good job there. Listen. I'm sorry, go ahead. What you say, Mr. Exclusive?
I said Chelsea Green, you next. Let's go.
Chelsea Green.
I need to win the Rumble. Let's go. Come on.
They had these plans. We talked about it. What was it? Unreal. Where they had this whole idea. It would be great to see them push Chelsea that way.
Beautifully.
I think it would be a good thing. I think Chelsea would do wonders just being herself with the championship. And you know how cowardly she can be, having the Secret Service protect her. And I think they could do a whole lot of stuff with that. So if they go that route. But no, shout out. This is about Drew McIntyre. Yes, it's about the Claymore himself. And shout out to Drew. This is exciting. And I just can't wait to see what story unfolds from here. Yeah. What does this mean for Cody? How does he come back from this? This is what we want to see. Just something new, something fresh, something exciting, and we got that.
Maybe we'll get jealous.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, knights around the realm, please continue to join the family here at the Exclusive Nights Podcast. You can find us on all of these social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, and YouTube. And please, like, subscribe, give us a follow. We appreciate the love. We thank y'all for hanging with us and rocking with us into the new year of 2026, where big things seem to be on the horizon, not only for WWE, not only for wrestling in general, but for the Exclusive Nights Podcast. Yeah. And, we love this, and we're going to continue to bring you content the one way and the only way we know how to bring you content, and that is the exclusive way.
Yes, the exclusive way, baby. The one and the only. The one and the only.
Listen, that has been Mr. Exclusive. I have been the Heartbreak Prince. This is it for the Exclusive Nights Podcast. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. It's time to get ready to lock in now for some playoff football, which I'm excited for. Although I will be more excited if we had, America's team somewhere in there. But we're not gonna get too far into that. I'm excited to see some playoff football.
Yeah,
Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all
I hope
Saturday,
I'm
Sunday
smiling
night.
at the end of the evening. That's all I can say. I hope I'm smiling at the end of the evening. I don't know.
I can't wait to see what Trayvon Diggs does for the Green Bay Packers. I wonder how he's going to play and how that's all going to shape up. I don't know if he's going to make a big impact. I know he's new and he's just getting there, but I'm still excited to see, see what happens in a new environment for him. And so, go playoff football. I love this time of year. And we're going to see who kind of rises to the top. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate you. The ruler, the destroyer, the bringer of war. Love you, Oba. Can't wait to see you. We out.
Peace, y'all. Y'all take care.